What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Brutal Planet Comics. I'm your host, Dre the Brute Daniels. What another glorious day it is, because it's another day of the Indie Corner, where I sit down with everybody from the independent community, writers, artists, directors, producers. Doesn't matter if you're in the game, I want to talk to you. And today we got ourselves a new guest. He is the creator of Sable. Give it up, everybody, for DeWayne Dority.
What's going on, everybody?
What is going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for allowing me to be here. I appreciate it.
The pleasure is all mine. So I've taken the liberty, I've looked at quite a few of your stuff going on with Sable. I'm definitely heavily interested. But before we get into all that great stuff, let's talk about you. Who are you? Where'd you come from? How did we get here?
My name is DeWayne Dority. I am from Arkansas. I played college football at Arkansas Baptist College. I've always been an artist since I was a young kid. And when I got married, I decided to jump back in the art game and launched a couple of projects. Crescent Blue, I've been a part of some indie projects. And now I'm doing Sable. So my life's come full circle. I did art, dropped art, played football, got married, got back into art, and now I'm here.
From Arkansas. I love that. Arkansas. That's great. What position did you play?
Played center and guard and tackle.
That all makes sense. I wish, when I was in high school, I played running back and free safety
That's awesome.
in high school. And I wanted to go to LSU. I wanted to be a Tiger really, really bad.
That's awesome. I came from an all-white town, so when I went to an HBCU, I was like, it was a different culture, but I felt love there. And I'm glad I got the chance to be there. Got a lot of friends to this day still, so I'm very proud of where I came from and where I've been.
Absolutely. That's always a what I used to call it, a color rush when you come from whatever town that's usually rural, a lot of white folks.
Yeah.
Then you just plop yourself in the middle of color central. I had a good friend of mine. He went to Howard University, and he was like, I've never been around this many black folks. I said, welcome, drink it in. But that's awesome. That's awesome. That's a heck of a journey. So when you were doing art before you decided to play football, did you want to be an art major when you went to college?
Yeah, actually, before I went to Arkansas Baptist College, I went to Missouri Southern State, and I majored in art. And it was crazy because everybody was like drawing these spectacular, art pieces and stuff. Me, I was drawing like Moon Knight and like abstract art. I was taking Marvel characters and drawing them in my style. And my art teacher was kind of looking at me funny, like, are you sure this is what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, I love drawing this stuff. And so after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep doing me the way I'm doing it. And so far, it's panned out good in my part.
Nice. That's awesome. So you went from art major, played football, got married, family. You have children at all?
Yeah, okay. I sure do. I have one son. His name is Ryder, and he has autism.
Okay. Cool beans. I'm sure that has its own unique challenges.
It sure does.
I'm sure.
But that's what Sable is based off of, is my son. It's my character for him.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
I love that heartfelt stuff. I love that. So what made you want to just go right into the comic industry? Like, having an art background, you could have went in different directions, but why the comic game?
I always have loved reading comics, and watching art on the screen, like watching the Batman animated series and stuff like that, Dragon Ball Z. It just made me want to do art and just do it my way, because I love every different art style, and I try to do that in my own art and try to do it different ways each and every time. And so far, I have my own art style, and I love the way it is right now. But yeah, watching cartoons like the Ultra Force and stuff like that made me want to just get into comics. So
Dwayne, you're dating yourself, my friend. You're dating yourself.
But one of my favorite cartoons is Techno Man, or Tekkaman Blade. That's one of my favorites.
Look at you. Yeah. Ooh, the lolly. So fandom pretty much what shoehorns you into it. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. That's a lot of us come from that background. I grew up, as I've said a million times before, I had a Batman comic when I came out of the womb. That was like my destiny was already put in front of me right when we got this show started. So that's really, really great. And I was also influenced by a lot of cartoons growing up and all the other great stuff, and anime as well. Because when I was And not till I was probably about in high school where anime finally became popular. But yeah, but like I was influenced by a lot of stuff, Gundam Wing and Dragon Ball and all that stuff. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So
and the thing is, my dad, he wasn't a very rich man. I grew up in a poor house, but we had VHSs. And my dad had a lot of recorded cartoons from back in the day, like Bump in the Night. I love that little animated cartoon. Most people probably don't even know what that is.
Look at you.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Like, I just loved watching my VHS because it was cartoons I haven't seen before. And so I would rewatch them over and over again because my dad had them all listed, even wrote on the side what kind of cartoons they were. So I was like, oh man, this is great. Like, it's great that I have those memories that some people probably don't even know what kind of cartoons I'm talking about.
Exactly. But that's always good to be able to reach it down your back pocket and pull something out of nowhere that nobody sees coming. Yeah. It's great. I love it. I love it. Speaking of which, let's talk a little bit about BLOODSABLE. And I saw a couple of the variant covers that you got going on here. Now, you don't have to give me big spoilers here, but what is the story behind BLOODSABLE? Now, you did mention that it is a tribute to your son, but you go into that a little bit. What are we dealing with here in BLOODSABLE?
BLOODSABLE is just my little, like, my legacy character for my son. You know, something that he can pick up later on down the line, because I have four more stories written about this character ready to go after this one. I've had it ready since 2015, since he was born. I've already written down the character, have his backstory, his powers, and all that sort of stuff. I already had it written down. By the time he was starting to walk, when I made BLOODSABLE, I wanted it to be something that was, you know, just a father who has, you know, some bad things happen in his life, but his family is the thing that's keeping him held together. And Eric Burns, the main character of my story, he'll do anything to keep his family safe. Anything. It doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, or what you're doing. If you mess with his family, he's a man who will come after you.
And who can't relate to that? Anybody, and especially you being a father, of course, that's always heightened. And like when you were describing it to me just now, I was thinking about Taken. I love that movie. The first one, the sequels, I can care less.
Yeah.
The first movie about like how far would you go for your child, you know, and I know you being a father, there's nothing you wouldn't do. So to see that and implementing that into your writing, I think is really interesting. Now, the fact that you wrote this is 2015, so 9 years ago, and you've been sitting on this for a while. What made you finally pull the trigger to get it done?
Well, for a while, I had a couple artists who wanted to help me make the book. And, you know, I had a few artists that came in and they, you know, had their own projects, so they dropped out. And then one day I was talking to my great friend, John Coates, Psycho Raw Art on IG. He's from New York, and we've been friends ever since. He just was like, hey, brother, you send me that story, I'll put it together for you. He's like, I'll pencil and ink it. And I told him, if he does that, I'm going to color it and letter it and just do everything else. And the man came through, and I worked on some projects for him, so we helped each other both ways. So he was like, here you go, brother. And he sent me every single original artwork that he made, send it to my house. So I was able to just get it done quickly. And so I've been just sitting here waiting for the time, because I've had a couple other projects I already launched. So I was just letting it marinate, because I didn't want to rush BLOODSABLE. Didn't want to rush it. I wanted to make sure all the lettering was, you know, you could read it. It was not too complex. You could understand the story. So I went through like 5, 6, 7 times. Like I was just focused in on making sure that the story was perfect. And so when I finally had the chance, I was going to launch it on my son's birthday. But, you know, some things happened with Kickstarter, and I had to reach out to them. And then when I finally was able to launch it, just a big, huge, just my heart was just happy, because I was like, this has been sitting here, just I'm ready to get it out to the world. Like, there's not a lot to it, but when people get this story, it's going to be like, wow. Like, I see why he sat on it for a long time, because there's a lot of good in it. Passion
goes a long way, especially in this business. And that warms my cold, dark heart too. That's really great stuff here. That's really wonderful. And I know that you are just fired up just to have this thing launched. So that's... I am. I want to make sure it's 60 days, because I just want to be able to pump out videos and stuff and just show a little bit behind the scenes so people can look at it and just see what's inside the book. I don't want to spoil too much, but it's a great 40-page story that it's been years in the making. I had a huge, great time just writing it and just rewriting it and just having a good time coloring it and lettering it. It's just a great story.
Like any parent who has a kid is gonna be like, I see why he's wrote the book this way.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that in mind, let's go ahead and check out the Kickstarter. Okay, DeWayne, we're here at the Kickstarter here, and at point of recording, we have 55 days to go, and we just started getting some backers, so that's great. That's great. It's a good start, and I'm glad you did a 60-day run, because that's the same way I do things as well when I'm doing things. I want as much time as possible, because you never know who might stumble across your work.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this, and a wonderful picture of your family here. That's really, really touching. The real Blood Sable family. So that's really, really good. So you touched on the art a little bit. Now, did you do, I know you did a bunch of variants with a few different artists. Did you do all the internal pages yourself?
John, he penciled and inked all of the pages, and I colored them all. And there's a couple of artworks that I wasn't, too fond of, and I went in and actually redrew a couple of panels in the book because I wanted to. Because there was a couple panels where Blood Sable was a little murky from the ink, so I went in and took it into Procreate and redid some of the panels to make it a little more spicy.
Spicy. I like that. I like that. And I'm looking at this art style, and it reminds me of a comic that I read 30 years ago. It was a short run comic called Damage. Many people probably never heard of it before, but it was basically it was a guy that took a lot of physical damage, and then he would expel the energy the damage that he gained. Cool. And this type of art style that you have here reminded me of that comic, and I haven't thought about that comic in decades. So
yeah, John has a great art style. Like, you love 80s and 90s art styles. Yeah. Like, his artwork is towards that way. So he has amazing books coming out himself that have that 90s and 80s style type of artwork that he does.
Yep, and it's bleeding into my eyes, and I'm loving it. That's I just got a nostalgia bump in the back of my head. So that's really awesome. Cool. It's really, really cool, and I'm loving these variant covers. They look really, really cool. And I see you got posters. You got all the usual goodies, which is always fantastic. Stickers, the whole 9 yards. So this Kickstarter is already looking fresh to death, as we say over here in DC. So that's awesome. Really, really cool. And I like your stretch goals too. You got a lot of good stuff going on. This is gonna be pretty darn sweet, and so I like that. I like that.
My favorite part of my Kickstarter is that people who back the limited bundle, they'll get some original artwork from me. So I have 22 original art pieces that I have them from Blood Sable that I've done over the years, and whoever gets the limited bundle, they'll get those 2 original posters that are in there, which I drew and jam-packed Art, who is an artist on IG, colored for me. So they'll get those 2, and they'll get one. It'll be a surprise. It'll be whichever 22 artworks. I'll pick one randomly and give it to the person who backs that bundle.
Oh, that's gonna be pretty freaking sweet. That's gonna be sweet. And I'm loving that. So I'm definitely gonna post that in the description section below. Everybody go and check out that Kickstarter. So here's the question, DeWayne. Here's the real question. Now, you mentioned in the offset that you've written a few more issues for your arc here. How far is this story going?
That's kind of a hard question to say. Like, do you want to know some spoilers, or do you want to know some of the villains he'll face? Or
not as far as that goes, but as far as issues are concerned, because you're dropping a 40-pager, which is thick. Let me be clear. Yeah. That's a thick girl there. But how long do you like this arc? You're doing a 6-issue arc, 8-issue arc. Are you gonna try to take it for as far as it's gonna go? How long are you taking this story arc?
Well, so far I have this issue, and I have 3 more planned. And then, however, I feel at the 4th one, I know I have another story after that. So it might be 6, it might be 8. It depends, because I also want to have Blood Sable intermingle with my other characters that I've published.
Crossovers.
Yeah. So in my Crescent Blue comic, you'll see in there that you'll see the other characters who are going to be involved in the story as well, which one of them is Blood Sable. So my bubble manipulating master, Crescent Blue, will eventually meet Blood Sable one day. So we'll see how that goes. And I've already written down the stories I kind of want all my characters to be in together. So I have a whole list of that as well. So yeah, in the next couple of years, I should have 2 out. of BLOODSABLE, 3 out of BLOODSABLE. So I already, like I said, I already have the stories already written. I just want to make sure I get this project done first and then do the other 2 that I have lined up after that.
That makes a whole lot of sense to me. That makes a whole mess load of sense. Man, DeWayne, I love this story, and even more than this story, I love your story. Your story of giving this tribute to your son and being a dad. That's always the type of great stuff that I love to hear. Pure raw passion is my favorite thing in the world, and the fact that you use your family as your motivation is always a wonderful and beautiful thing. So
yeah, because it's just awesome. My wife, she beat cancer the first time, and now she's back. She has cancer again.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so like, there's pieces of this book that, you know, I just wanted her to see when I published it. I just want her to be able to look at it and be like, you helped me make this. Like, she stood by me the whole time. And my son, it'll just be like, here you go, buddy. You know, if he ever talks one day, he can tell me how he loves BLOODSABLE, his character that I made for him when he was a baby. Just all the characters I make have a purpose. Yeah. They're all here for a reason, and just something I can leave behind, you know, when I go. I can have a little legacy left behind, people who do get my books and say, hey, I got something that he made that he loved, and I'll always have it the rest of my life. It'll be sitting on the shelf for somebody who can read it time and time again.
Wow. DeWayne, are you trying to make me cry on my own podcast? How dare you, sir? How dare you break my heart?
I just want people to be motivated, like, because like I said, there's a lot of things happening behind the scenes with my life. Yeah. But these stories are something that helps me, you know, get over it. So when I write BLOODSABLE and draw BLOODSABLE or my Crescent Blue or Flash Wave or any other character I have in my world, they all just give me a little outlet to, you know, if I'm angry or sad or frustrated, I can just look back on it and say, I know why I created these, and they'll help me out, get me through it. Yeah,
that's deep. That's heavy. That's heavy, and I appreciate you sharing that with me today.
Because I know I'm new in the indie comics game. There's a lot of great artists that I have to compete against, and so I try to learn off of those guys how they get their projects funded and stuff. So I'm always learning on how to be better the next go around. Yeah. And hopefully this project will get funded and I can send it out to people again. Because I had a blast sending out my first comic and then being a part of another comic and just seeing everybody just see my work done and just have it in their hands. Because that's my accomplishment. When I see someone get my work, it's like, here you go. Thank you for believing in what I did, and enjoy it the rest of your life.
I wish you nothing but success, DeWayne. Nothing but success, brother. I really do appreciate it.
Same to you. Every interview you've done, I've enjoyed them because you make it like a family atmosphere, and I love that, man. I wish you the same success in life too.
Thank you. You're too kind to me. So everybody, that there is DeWayne Dority. DeWayne, where can people find you on social media?
They can find me on Instagram, Write a Show. It's a mix of my wife and my son's name. So there you go, another family thing. They can find me on Instagram. They can find me on Twitter, Write a Show. They can find me on DeviantArt, is Write a Show as well. I'm also on Facebook, Wake Comics. And you can follow my Wakeverse page on IG as well. It's just Wakeverse.
Okay, sweet deal, sweet deal. So I'm gonna
YouTube, Write a Show. Yeah.
Oh, YouTube as well.
Yeah.
Okay, everywhere.
My art and stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
so
awesome. Awesome. So I'm gonna leave that link in the description section below. Everybody go and check out DeWayne's work. Follow him on all those social media he just dropped there, and definitely support his Kickstarter. That will also be in the description section below. Definitely check out BLOODSABLE. Throw all the money at him. All the money in the world. Just throw it at him. Just go crazy. And I'm really, really happy. Really, really happy about that. So, and who am I? I, of course, am Dre, the Brute Daniels, and you can follow me on my dope social media platforms as well. They're right under my face. They're not there yet, but they will be. At TheBrute00 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and I feel like being silly on TikTok. And of course, by all means, check out my graphic novel, Treble the Rhythm Within. It is still available now. It will also be in the description section below. Check that joint out as well. So, everybody, you all have been fan-freaking-tastic. This has been the Indie Corner, and I'll catch you all next time.